Turn me up some. Whoa, whoa. Turn me up some.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, and welcome to, well, I guess you'd call this a redo of the Rant Show. The reason why I took down December's Rant Show, was because, to be honest, well, it was two things. Well, the reason why I took it down and I'm re-uploading, obviously, that's why you're seeing this. It's for two reasons. One of the reasons being is I wanted to, I really didn't say all I wanted to say about the whole Mini Lad and Detroit Become Human situation. And, as of late, for those of you that have been keeping up in YouTube news, some shit has gone down recently that I really wanted to talk about, that I did not want to wait for January's Rant Show to come around so I could talk about it. So, took down the original December Rant Show, and I'm redoing it. That's why you're seeing this on a Saturday. So, let's get into this. First, we're going to talk about what I originally, wanted to talk about. The first time I did this for December, and that was Mini Lad. For those of you that don't know, Mini Lad is a big prominent YouTuber on this site. He has at this moment, I think, over 5 million subscribers, give or take. I could be a little bit off by that. Someone below in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong. But I've followed Mini Lad for, oh god, how long have I been watching him now? For about 3 years? I'd probably say almost 3 years. Going on 3 years at the very least. And I love the guy. I love the content he puts out. Not only the video game videos he's done in the past, but the newer stuff he's doing on his newer channel. All the stuff he's doing now with like the Thirst Project and the videos that are supposed to be coming about that. I love that shit, man. So, Mini Lad, if you ever see this, 1, it was good to see you at TwitchCon, and 2, love your content, man. Please keep putting it up. But for those of you that didn't watch the original Rant Show and don't know what I'm talking about, or what I was talking about in the original Rant Show that went up here in December, is I addressed the fact of some of the comments that I seen in Mini Lad's playthrough of Detroit Become Human. And not only the comments that he had in those videos of his playlist of Detroit Become Human, but also I've had a habit recently of scouring through YouTube and watching reaction channels. Not the reaction channels where someone sits down and watches an entire YouTube video, but like where a reaction channel takes clips of a certain game, and that one specific clip, it shows several different YouTubers going through that one clip of one specific video game. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully, or at least following along with what I'm saying. And I've recently got addicted to watching these type of videos, where it'll show, say like, for Bendy the Ink Machine, I'll watch a reaction channel where it shows a clip of one part of the game where Bendy pops out of nowhere and is supposed to scare you. And what that video will do is it'll play that clip over and over again, but it'll show different YouTubers play through when they hit that part to get, each person's reaction when they get to that point. And I got addicted to watching those type of reaction videos. And anytime I watched a video like that where it had anything to deal with Detroit Become Human, and it showed a clip of Mini Lad playing that game, even in those comments, there'd be several people voicing their frustration with how Mini Lad played the game. And listen, I'm all for if you're not happy with, a way a person played a game. That's your right. You have the free will to dislike the way someone played a game, or like the way someone else played a game, or so on and so forth. That's perfectly fine. My whole issue with the comment section in these, reaction videos and the comment section in Mini Lad's freaking playlist of Detroit Become Human is they went just beyond generally a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them went beyond the line of just, saying that they didn't like the way he did a certain thing in the game. The way a lot of the comments, at least in my opinion, I saw in these videos of him playing Detroit Become Human went beyond that. They went to the point of whining. If you scour through the comments, and Mini Lad even kind of addressed this at one point in one of his videos, just pretty much addressing that he doesn't care how many people whine or how many people try and say that he needs to play the game again. He's not doing it. He liked the way he played through it, and he's sticking by that, which I applaud him for. But the comment section, a thing I want to rant about in his playthrough of Detroit Become Human, it went beyond just, voicing your opinion of being, you know, a little upset that Mini Lad chose to do this in Detroit Become Human instead of going this route, or choosing to go this route instead of that route. Like, it went beyond just generally complaining. It went to the point of, like I said, them bitching and whining. Like, if you scour through the comments, and I mean, it doesn't take, what's what I'm looking for? You know, it doesn't take long to find the comments I'm talking about, because they're pretty much all right at the top, because people decide to upvote the comments. So they're pretty much right at the top. You can see them plain as day. But people went beyond the point of just saying, "Oh, Minnie, you know, I wish you would have done this instead of this, because that ending's better, or what happens after that choice is better than the choice you made." Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you generally, you know, calmly voice your opinion about a certain game in a comment section, that's not, like, what I would call stepping over the line. That's not, like, going across the line of just, you know, voicing your opinion. But there were a lot of people in the comments section, and I know I'm late on this. I know people have already talked about this. Mini Lad's already addressed this a few months back. But, you know, I want to talk about it. It's my rant show, so I'm talking about it. But a lot of the comments in that playlist, in my opinion, went across the line of just voicing their frustration. They went across the line and went towards more bitching and whining and complaining. Like, if you look through the comments, there are people who literally, in all caps, mind you, just decided to post, "Guys, upvote this so Mini Lad sees this, so he knows that we want him to play through this game again and get the good ending this time." Like, shit like that. And there's even comments, like I saw, of people, like I said, when I would watch the reaction videos, and a clip of Mini Lad playing Detroit Become Human would show. I saw comments of people saying, you know, every time I see a clip of Mini Lad playing that frickin' game, and he makes that stupid frickin' choice, I feel like taking my phone and throwing it against the wall. Like, really? You're gonna be that upset over a dude playing a video game? Listen, I understand if it's a really good-ass video game, but that's ridiculous. Dude, it's a video game. If you don't like the way he played it, why the fuck are you watching it to begin with? Why the heck are you watching his clip of him playing it? Just skip past it and watch the next one. Or hop over to a different dude's playlist, a Detroit Become Human, that you like the playthrough they did, and watch them do it. Like, literally, Mini Lad finished playing this game months ago, and there's still people leaving comments below these videos asking him, whining and complaining for him to play this game again. Newsflash, guys, he's not going to. And listen, I saw some comments over on, you know, the reaction videos and over on his playlist saying, but Mini Lad said at the beginning of the video that he was going to go the pacifist route, that that's what he wanted, but then he didn't do it. Well, there could be several reasons for that. One, he could have just been trolling Yins and said that just to surprise Yins when he chose what I would call the chaotic route, which, by the way, I watched Mini Lad's playthrough of Detroit Become Human, and personally, even though they probably weren't the choices I'd personally make in the game, I still liked it. I watched it. Yes, like I said, I probably would have made those choices myself, because I'm one of the people that tries to get as good of an ending as possible, like, you know, a good ending. But that's Mini Lad's playthrough. I enjoyed it regardless. I loved his commentary while he was playing it. Big whoop-de-frickin' do, right? But some of these people, like, weren't just complaining or weren't just voicing their opinion on a choice he made in the game. They went beyond that. They went to the bitching, the whining, and the complaining. And that shit, me personally, gets on my nerves. And that's the one point I don't get. Listen, yes, okay, even if he did, which I don't remember him saying it, but if he did say at the beginning of the Let's Play series that he was going to try and go the pacifist route. Like I said, there are many variables that could have led him not to going that route. One, he could have just been trolling Yins. You know, a simple jest, if you will, of him just saying that and then not actually doing it to catch Yins off guard. Or, he could simply just, I don't know, change his mind towards the beginning of the game. Saying that, hey, it might be more interesting to see where the story goes if I choose the bad route, which I know some YouTubers, some Let's Players, and some friends of mine that will literally do that on purpose just to see what the quote-unquote bad ending is, because they're fucking curious. There ain't nothing wrong with that, and even with some of the, once again, with the reaction videos, and people bitching and complaining anytime they saw a clip of me like playing Detroit Become Human. Like, they would, there was one, I remember specifically, where it showed a YouTuber and Mini Lad, a different YouTuber, and then Mini Lad both choosing the bad choice in that, specific clip of Detroit Become Human. And one of the commenters said, listen, this certain YouTuber, we're used to seeing him choose the bad route because that's what he's known for on his YouTube channel whenever he plays choice-based video games. But then Mini Lad, he's not known for this, so I don't understand why he would do it. I hate that he's doing this. Listen, he doesn't always have to go the good choice route in choice-based video games. The dude loves video games. It's not. Is it your video game? No? Okay. Did you buy the game for him? No? Okay. Then why would he have to choose the good route? It's his video game. It's his playthrough. He can play it the way he wants. And you guys, I'm sorry, or just if anyone's watching this that did bitch, moan, and complain on his videos about this, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to accept that that's the way he played it. He's not gonna play the game again, so just suck it up, Buttercup, move on, and watch some other dude's playlist play through of it instead of Mini Lads. Because no matter how many times you leave comments on it, he's not gonna play the fucking game again. Unless they come out with a DLC or something, then, maybe. But other than that, no. He said in a video already addressing this when people were blasting his comment section in the Let's Play series to do the game again and complaining him for doing the game, and he said he was not going to, so he's not going to. Just fucking accept it. And now I know people are saying, but Adam, Carl, why are you getting so worked up about this? Why do you care what some people are leaving in Let's comment section? Because I'm tired of seeing this shit. Because it's not only his that I've seen these type of comments in. Listen, like I said already, it is perfectly fine if you want to voice your general frustration, or just, better yet, simply ask, why'd you choose to say that instead of this? You're probably gonna get in the good route, or just by simply asking it in his comment section, because believe it or not, he does sometimes reply to comments. You could have just simply asked him in his comment section, saying, hey, Minnie, listen, at the beginning of the Let's Play series, you said that you were trying to choose the pacifist route, but then you're choosing all these chaotic options. Why? And you could have simply asked that, and who knows, maybe if you were actually polite enough and not bitching and moaning and just complaining, then maybe he would have answered you and you would know why he was choosing the chaotic route. But most of the ends chose not to do that, and anyone that tried to, their comments got buried because of all the other people bitching and moaning and complaining. So there's that. So pretty much, to sum up what I was trying to say this whole entire time dealing with Mini Lad and Detroit Become Human, stop the bitching, the moaning, and complaining. If you don't like the way someone's playing through a game, hop over to someone else and watch the way they're playing it, the way you like. Leave Mini Lad alone. Let him play the games he wants to play. Let him make the choices in said games he wants to make, because in the end, it is his playthrough. It is his way he wants to play the game. He's the one that bought the fucking game. And let the people that don't mind the choices he makes in the games enjoy the Let's Play series that he puts out. If you want to voice your if you start watching through the Let's Play series and you don't like some of the choices he's making, that's fine. You can voice your general frustration, or simply, better yet, ask him why in the comments below this video. But don't go, like I said before, don't cross that line and go from just, voicing your general frustration or just simply asking. Don't cross that line from that over to bitching, moaning, and complaining. Because that's what a lot of audience were kind of fucking doing, especially the ones that decide to, type in all caps and upvote comments, pretty much demanding at certain points for Mini Lad to restart the Let's Play series and start choosing the good route. That's not, calm, collective, and just simply asking why he's doing it. That's just, like I said, bitching, moaning, and complaining, and you're making yourself look like you're 5 fucking years old. So how about next time Mini Lad, or any other YouTuber for that matter, decides to play a choice-based game? and you start to watch through it, and you don't like the way they're playing through the game, you don't like the way choices he's making, do one of two options. One, just leave a general comment, simply and calmly, voicing your frustration, asking why. Or just simply ask why in general, why they chose to go that route. And they might actually answer you, and you might actually have your answer why they're choosing those routes. Or hop over to someone else's YouTube playlist of that same game and watch them play it. It's as simple as that. Because the bitching, the moaning, and the complaining isn't going to get you nowhere. And to others that are just trying to support Mini Lad and others in the Let's Play videos that they do, their comments are getting drowned out by Yun's fucking crying. So, how about do that from now on? How about instead of bitching and moaning and complaining when you don't like the way someone's playing through a game, you either simply and calmly and collectively ask them why they're choosing that route, or just voice your general frustration and move on, and watch someone else play the same game that you like the way they're choosing, and not choose to bitch, moan, and complain in the comments. Just saying. For everyone's sanity. Now, for the second subject I actually want to talk about. I'm sure by now, most of you are familiar and know who Pewdiepie is. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with the guy and know his ongoing battle with T-Series. For those of you that do not know what T-Series is, it is a record label that mainly produces music videos, TV shows, and movies in India. Bollywood stuff. And recently, they have been skyrocketing through subscribers over on YouTube. And several times, they have come close to, passing PewDiePie's subscriber count, making them the most subscribed YouTube channel. But through the help of Mr. Beast, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and several others, PewDiePie so far has managed to hold that #1 spot. Now, even I will say at one point that's probably not going to last, and PewDiePie will no longer be the #1 subscribed YouTube channel. But like he said in videos before, he really doesn't care. To be honest, that does not matter to him. The only thing that matters to him, and I have respect for him for saying this, the only thing that matters to him is for him to entertain his fans and the people that watch his channel. That's all that matters to him, which I have mad respect for him for saying. And because, PewDiePie, if PewDiePie is saying it, it's true, because the guy, just from what I've seen in interviews and from watching his channel for a while now, he's a really sweet and kind-hearted dude. And when he says shit like that, he actually fucking means it. It's not just saying it for the camera and for the people watching. But the reason why I bring him up is because for pretty much the past 2 years now, the Wall Street Journal, several media companies owned by Vox, and several others have been trying to pretty much smear PewDiePie's name. And in turn, at the same instance, hurting YouTube in the process. If you're not familiar with some of the shit I'm talking about, you can watch Philip DeFranco. He just put up a video this past Tuesday talking about this, addressing the latest thing that's been going on, dealing with all this. And several others throughout YouTube, Sargon and Boogie, and several others have been talking about this as it's been happening. But literally for the past 2 years, Wall Street Journal and several media outlets owned by Vox have been, pretty much on a witch hunt for PewDiePie. And listen, am I always going to say that PewDiePie made the most smartest decision in the world? No, because no one's fucking perfect. Am I trying to justify what he said on that fateful day when he crossed the PUBG bridge, when he accidentally dropped the N-word? No, I'm not going to condone something like that. I don't think he should have said it. I do think it was a slip of the tongue, but he shouldn't have said it regardless, and any consequences he faced after he said that in the live stream, he deserved. I'll come out right and say that. But literally, pretty much anything else that Vox and Wall Street Journal and other news articles have come out against him, as we all know by now, have been completely fucking bullshit. Like, them literally calling him every word under the sun. From calling him a Nazi, to an anti-Semitic, to pretty much any word that revolves around racist, and just literally up front calling him a racist. You can imagine they freaking called him at this point and have tried to say he is in their freaking articles. And I'm happy to say at this point, except for like a select few, no one's buying their shit at this point. Like, literally no one. Like, I've seen anytime Wall Street Journal or any Vox media company has posted up one of these famous articles over on Twitter, if you go through the comments, you know, the Twitter replies whenever they posted shit like this of their articles up on Twitter, like, the comments are overwhelmingly for PewDiePie and condemning, you know, the Wall Street Journal and Vox and others for continuing to make these articles. Like, just outright slander against Pewds. And it's getting ridiculous. Like, it literally is. And to be honest, people have been wondering, like, what do they get from this? Like, why is the reason for the past 2 years, like, they've made it their fucking mission at this point to try and take PewDiePie down. And several people have thrown out there with why they think why. Even PewDiePie has finally come out and said why he thinks why they're after him. And honestly, pretty much everyone is almost on the same page of why they think why. And pretty much I'm on the same page as them as well. And pretty much why I think for the past 2 years they've literally been on this fucking witch hunt is because of YouTube. Literally what it is. Because when you think about it, and I'm sure most of you know at this point, Wall Street Journal, who publishes newspapers, and other news outlets who have published newspapers in the past, newspapers for the past years now have been on the decline. Like, no one nowadays reads the actual newspaper. Whenever they want to read the news or find out what's going on, they go on their phone, they go on their computer, and they read it there. And even to that point, people aren't just going like they normally would several years ago, go to the Wall Street Journal and go to Vox and go to Fox and go to CNN and go to others' websites to find the news anymore. Like, they're on the decline. Like, I'm not saying, you know, YouTube's going to take those news companies out completely. No, they're still going to be around for a while, but they're getting hit. They're getting hurt, and it's because of YouTube. When you go to YouTube, there's so many news outlets on YouTube now, and so many different ways you can access information about what's going on in the world on YouTube now, that no one has to literally go anymore just to Wall Street Journal, just to Fox, just to CNN, just to wherever other news outlet. Like, that's not their only option anymore. Like, back, like, when YouTube was barely a thing, back when, you know, YouTube just started, like, when people got their news, what would they do? They would go to they would read the local newspaper, they would hop online and read the Wall Street Journal, they would read, you know, when Vox Media Group finally came around, they would read what was on Vox, they would go to all these other media outlets, whether it be on TV, whether it be on the internet. You know, they'd go on their websites on the internet and read the news there, or they'd read the newspaper. This is where they would go, because this was literally the only place where you could get it. But then YouTube came around, and people like Philip DeFranco, people like the Young Turks, people like Boogie and others, when they cover news, whether it be news inside YouTube or out, or even Drama Alert even, when they cover news that's in YouTube or out in the world, people have choices now. They don't just have to rely on Fox, on CNN, on you know, on the Wall Street Journal, on any of them. There's so many choices out there now that this is hurting Wall Street Journal. This is hurting Vox. This is hurting these guys, because not no one, but there are far less people that are checking out what they have to say in the news now more than ever, because of what YouTube and other outlets like them offer. Like, there are thousands upon millions upon the billions of people that have YouTube channels now, and out of thousands of millions of billions of those, they offer each an unknown outlook on what's going out in the world and inside the world of YouTube. Which is something that I think a lot of people like. Like, they don't just have to stick to one news outlet like the Wall Street Journal and Fox and CNN, because all they're going to give is in the end, their biased opinion on whatever matter is happening. And people don't want that now. They want to absorb as much information from different news outlets as possible. They don't just want to listen to some biased company's opinion. They want to get an opinion from someone real. They want to get an opinion of someone that they know will tell them truthfully what the fuck is, or what they think is truthfully, what the fuck is going on in the world. And that appeals to them more. That appeals to them that they don't literally have to go to the Wall Street Journal. They don't have to go to Fox. They don't have to go to CNN. They don't have to go to any of the media outlets that Vox owns to get their information anymore. They can get and they can get whatever opinion they want now through YouTube and through other media outlets like them. So there's way more options, and this appeals to so many people. And you gotta imagine when, especially with the people that have written these smear articles on PewDiePie for the past few years, these are people who have been in the media industry, who have worked behind the scenes for the Wall Street Journal and for Vox and for others for 10 years plus. They've been in the journalist industry for 10 years. And listen, and this is even, I was listening to a podcast I was talking about all this latest smear campaign against PewDiePie, and they were even talking about this and saying this. They're saying, listen, take it from this perspective of journalists who have been in this business for a decade or more. Okay, go back 10 years or more. Back then, like I said, people would hang on to their word. People would come to them for the information. And now with YouTube and other news and other outlets like them, that's being taken away. Less and less people are listening to them. What they used to give isn't as powerful as anymore. And I'll even put myself in their shoes, and I'll even fully admit it. If this was happening to me, I'd be frustrated. I'd be mad too. But the thing I wouldn't do that they're doing is going through the lengths to try and smear those that are taking that away from them. Listen, in this day and age, you have to innovate, you have to renovate, you have to think 2 steps ahead to keep up with today's media, to keep up with today's platforms in the world. You can't just stick, I hate to break it to you, Wall Street Journal and others, you can't just stick to your solo opinion anymore or what the corporates upstairs tell you to say. If you don't start to adapt to the quote-unquote new age of media and the many outlets out there, then you will be, in the end, eventually obsolete. That's what's happening to you right now, because you're not giving, you're not covering the news anymore. You're literally giving a biased opinion. And people nowadays, they don't want that anymore. They want the actual truth. They want the actual news. And you guys are not giving that to them. So what? Now that there's YouTube out there and way more areas that people can absorb their news and what they want to hear, they're not coming to you anymore. So what do? They're butthurt about it. They're upset about it. So they look at PewDiePie. They look at YouTube and they look at PewDiePie, who is still at the moment the most subscribed YouTuber and YouTube channel on YouTube. And they are pissed. They are mad. Instead of taking this anger and this frustration and focusing on what you could do to make your own outlet better, and yes, that means sometimes changing the way you do things, which I know a lot of things probably aren't gonna like, or that's not what you'd really want to do. I'm sorry to break it to you, that's what you're gonna have to do, but you're not gonna do that. So what do you do instead? You have this 2+ year long smear campaign to try and take PewDiePie down by any means necessary, because he's the top YouTuber. He's pretty much, and still considered by many, the face of YouTube. Even though at this point I know probably YouTube wouldn't want him to be considered that, but that's neither here or there. Whether they like it or not, he still is. And they figure if they can take him down, they can make YouTube look bad. And if they can make YouTube look bad, then they've got their revenge. And hopefully by making YouTube look bad, they'll drive some of the people away from that, source of media and back to them. And also, as a little added bonus, by having literally PewDiePie's name in anything, they can literally clickbait the hell out of their articles. And with every click, the more money they get. Especially with these articles that they post up that you literally now have to pay for just to fucking read. So that's why they're doing it. Or that's my opinion and several others' opinion of why they're doing it. Is because for the past decade plus, they were the main source of media that people would come to. But that's not the case anymore. So instead of trying to adapt to the way media now is, they decide to instead seek their revenge and do god-awful, upright smear campaigns against YouTube's biggest creator in a way to not only hurt him, but YouTube in general. By making YouTube look bad for supporting a guy like this. Or, as they would say, a guy like this. By calling him a Nazi, by calling him an alt-right or an alt-left or whatever word they can come up with, or just plainly straight out racist. And some of the stuff that they even put in their articles to call this dude a racist is sometimes, I swear to God, it is so far leaped out there, like they're grasping on so many fucking strings, it is freaking ridiculous. Like literally go scouring through something the Wall Street Journal did. They literally scoured through a year's worth of his videos, and they picked, 6 minutes of thousands upon thousands of videos, and twisted those 6 minutes of different clips around to make it sound like he was supporting Nazi values. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, this was their main source of what they used to get PewDiePie not banned, but to get PewDiePie out of the Google Preferred, to get Scared PewDiePie Season 2 canceled, and to get Maker to drop it. This is what literally they did. And like me and other YouTubers said when this happened, it was completely, the article that they put against him was completely taken out of context. Like, even nowadays, when they continue to make articles like this, it's not like context even matters to them, and to them it probably doesn't. They, in my opinion, the reason why they're doing this is sole, or at least the main reason why a lot of them, I won't group all of them together, but the sole or the main reason why a lot of them are doing this is because they're butthurt. To put it plain and simple, they are butthurt. Because YouTube is now offering a better source of media intake than they are. And they're losing their pretty much followers at this point because of this. Like, if you look the difference between Wall Street Journal at this point even has a YouTube channel, and if you look at the difference between the views on a Wall Street Journal video and the views of a, like, say, Drama Alert video, or a Philip DeFranco video, or a Young Turks video, like, there's a significant viewer ratio between the two. Most Wall Street Journal articles or videos were lucky if they hit 100,000 views. Meanwhile, Philip DeFranco, Drama Alert, Young Turks, and so on will gain, tens of millions. Like, literally, they cannot keep up at this point. And like I said, it's because they are not willing to adapt the way media is covered now. People are looking for unbiased opinions. People are looking for opinions to listen to more than just their own. And Wall Street Journal and Vox and others are not offering this. They are offering a one-sided, biased opinion. And newsflash, especially with the up-and-coming millennials and everything, this is not what they want anymore. This is not what they want to absorb. This is not what they want to listen to. Hell, even people my age and older, they're even saying this is not they want to listen to. And it's getting so bad, Wall Street Journal. It's getting so bad, Vox. It's getting so bad, others, to the point where you're driving you're literally driving the people who used to support you away at this point with these smear campaigns against PewDiePie. If you scroll through the comments whenever Wall Street Journal posts up an article trying to smear PewDiePie, and you scroll through the comments, I've seen them. Philip DeFranco's even showed some of the comments in some of his latest videos, and others. You can literally scroll through the comments, and you can see comments of people saying how they used to love reading the Wall Street Journal, how like they've read the Wall Street Journal's articles for years. But even at this point, people used to be fans of publications like this. Now even calling out the people that they used to read, saying that, listen, I don't really care for PewDiePie. I really don't care, or I'm even interested in the videos he put out. But what you guys are doing to this guy, they're even calling him out now. Like, they're saying, like, in the comments, you can see him anytime, like I said, Wall Street Journal posts an article that they just put up about PewDiePie on Twitter. You'll see it in the comments. People literally exclaiming how they used to love watching the Wall Street Journal, how they really don't care two shits less about PewDiePie. But recently, with the articles that Wall Street Journals and others have been coming out against PewDiePie, that they're even starting to get sick of it. That they're even seeing the misrepresentation that they're having that they're doing when they cover PewDiePie. And they're even now starting to get sick of it. Wall Street Journal, Fox, you're literally driving the people who used to love your site away at this point. Like, what is it going to take for these guys to finally realize that maybe, yes, you might not be a fan of PewDiePie's dark humor at times. You might not be a fan of the way sometimes he covers things. But welcome to New Age Media, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a little thing, like I just said, called dark humor. Yes, it might be something you're not a fan of, but it's still dark humor nonetheless. It's still meant as a joke. And when you try to push your own narrative, your own opinion on stuff that's meant as a joke, or you literally take videos of his and others completely out of context, what do you expect to happen? You're driving people away. And if that wasn't enough of some of the stuff Wall Street Journal and others are trying to do, they're trying to hurt PewDiePie in different ways. And they're pretty much pulling a Wall Street Journal. They are. And I'm talking about when Wall Street Journal first made the biggest article that we all know and love against PewDiePie that got him, off of Google Preferred and got his YouTube Red series canceled and got him off of Maker. That article. They hurt PewDiePie's income. They cost him millions of dollars. Now, PewDiePie doesn't care less because he's still making hundreds of millions of dollars because of the loyal fan base he has and the people that are still willing to sponsor him. By the way, thank you very much, Origin, for continuing to sponsor PewDiePie in his videos, even with all this bullshit going on. Major props to you. There's still people willing to sponsor him, so he's still living large. He's still, yeah, granted, when the Wall Street Journal article first came out, it probably did hurt him. But he's back on his feet. He's more popular than ever. The articles you guys are literally making about him at this point are more sending people his way than that's hurting him. And you guys have maybe, at this point, only a couple thousand, at this point, people that are still listening to you. Like that viral video that's going around Twitter of that teacher that's trying to convince his students that if they support PewDiePie and retweet some of the stuff he's saying, that they could get in trouble with the law.
And by every time you retweet one of these things, or every time you promote this idea, you are promoting ignorance, racism, genocide, anti-Semitism. These are all things that you are putting forward when you are doing anything that promotes PewDiePie. So be careful about this. If something were to happen, if PewDiePie were to be sued for this, you could be complicit. If you retweet it, they could make you pay a fine as well, because you have officially published anti-Semitic things. So if you are republishing this stuff, you could get in trouble for it. Be very aware that that is a real thing.
Fuck no, they're not. No, they won't. And for a teacher, of all people, in a place of education, to try and force this opinion, this view on his students, in class, nonetheless, is downright distasteful in my opinion. If you guys don't know the article I'm talking about, Philly D covered it in a recent news video of his. I'll leave a link for it down below so you can check that out, because he gives a better explanation of it and covers it better than I can. But there was literally a video there's been a viral video going around Twitter that a student recorded off of his phone of his teacher literally telling the class that if they support PewDiePie and retweet the stuff he's been saying, that if PewDiePie gets in trouble, you guys could get in trouble for retweeting his comments and trying to support him because it's guilty by association. First of all, where the fuck did you get that from? Because no. Someone could tweet a Nazi sympathizer's point of view and they wouldn't get in trouble with the law. That's not how shit works. Yes, it's wrong to try and support something like that, but even if they're not getting in trouble for that, how would someone get in trouble for just retweeting and trying to show the support to PewDiePie? That's not how the law works. So for pretty much, in my opinion, for this teacher to try and not fearmonger is not even the right word, but for this teacher to try and scare his students into not supporting PewDiePie, a creator that most of them in there probably like, is outright freaking ridiculous. And I swear, if this video goes viral enough and it becomes public knowledge what school this was and who the teacher is, and that teacher does not get in trouble for what he did, because I believe it's against the law to do that in a public school. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, to push a political view in a place of education. At least I know it is in other countries. I'm not sure about the US, which is where I think that video was. But I think it is. So the teacher could actually get in trouble for that. So if it becomes public knowledge of which school that was and who that teacher was, and he does not get in trouble, there's going to be a shitstorm. There is. I'm just calling that now. But, sorry, I'm going in several different directions with this, but hopefully you guys are keeping along. And you know, getting the general gist of what I'm trying to say. So, like I said, Wall Street Journal, you have your supporters like that, but that's like thousands versus millions upon hundreds of millions. This is not a battle, especially when you put the untruthful, taken out of context smear campaigns that you try and put against this guy. Another perfect example, one of the ones that, I think it was one of Vox Media's outlets covered, is they put up an article recently trying to say that, hey, this video proves that PewDiePie is a supportive Nazi, that he's anti-Semitic and blah 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 blah, which was, some of you might know the article I'm talking about already, but for those that don't know, a few videos ago, PewDiePie uploaded a video of him playing CSGO on VR. It's pretty much CSGO. And a fan realized who he was during one part of the game. And so he started pouring his heart out to Pewds, like saying how, like, through some of the darkest moments in his life, Pewds helped him out, mentally and physically. And during the middle of this fan pouring his heart out to PewDiePie, another player in the same game as PewDiePie snuck up behind the guy that was pouring his heart out, and, you know, killed him in the game. So what he was trying to say to Pewds was cut short. And, you know, it was a harmful jest, a non-harmful jest, you know, a simple joke. Pewds even found it funny. He laughed his ass off when it happened. But, you know, Vox Media decided to say that, hey, look at this person that shot this fan of Pewds. He has a anti-Semitic's name and icon as his thing for his character. So, this means, and this is the far leap they took with this means that because PewDiePie didn't immediately leave the game after he saw this player's name and picture, or because he allowed this player to be in the game that PewDiePie was in, this proves that PewDiePie supports Nazi values, that he is a racist. I don't know if you know how games work, Vox, but See, the thing is, in video games, especially multiplayer video games, when you don't go in with a party you already know, they mix you with random people. And with how popular, depending on how popular the game is, the bigger the popularity of the game, the more random the people you get stuck with in the game are. And so, first of all, PewDiePie had no control over with who he got plopped into the game with. Second of all, until you brought up what that name meant and the icon behind it, no one, including PewDiePie, including thousands upon millions of hundreds of others, knew what even that name meant. So how the hell could PewDiePie even know what that dude's name meant? And just because the dude was in the game, and just because the dude used that as his name, doesn't even mean that that guy himself that had that character was racist himself. He probably just put it up there as an edgy joke. That's what sometimes, Vox, believe it or not, people do in video games. Hell, I can remember back when I used to play Call of Duty non-stop, and you guys who play Call of Duty will remember this, where you used to, in the multiplayer games, in the lobby while you're waiting for the game to start, you could look at other players' icons. And back during, I don't know if you still do it with, Call of Duty World War II or anything, but the older Call of Duty games, you used to be able to create your icon and make it look however you want. And as you know, like a dark humor joke, millions upon thousands of players, what sometimes they would do is they would put the swastika or other, considered racist things in their icons, either hidden or in plain sight, as a jest, as a dark humor joke. This is nothing new, Vox. People have done this for God knows how long. And 9 times out of 10, it's them not supporting, trying to show their support for Nazi values. It's meant as a jest. It's meant as a joke. It's meant as a dark humor joke. So, like I said before, I am almost willing to bet it's the same thing with this random player that was in PewDiePie's video. He probably had no, hidden meaning behind the name he chose and the icon he chose. It would probably just was meant as a jest. But regardless if it was meant as a jest or not, there's several things, like I already pointed out, to consider. One, PewDiePie had no control over who was in the game with him. It's selected at fucking random. Alright? 2, the guy was only in that part of the PewDiePie's video for literally maybe 5 to 10 fucking seconds. People didn't even realize what the name meant or the icon behind it until you pointed it out, because no one had a fucking clue. PewDiePie didn't have a clue. Several people who covered this after you came out with this article didn't have a fucking clue what the person's name meant. Until you plainly out front said what it meant. Which means there is no fucking possible way that PewDiePie knew what that name meant and decided to keep it up to show his support for what that name meant, or whatever fucking way you want to word it. Like, you literally reached so far out there to try and paint PewDiePie as this, racist Nazi sympathizer, especially with this latest article that I just mentioned, that it's getting ridiculous, and more people are seeing through your shit. You're literally, like I said, driving people away at this point from your news outlet. People that used to love reading, you still love reading your articles. Listen, I can understand, and I can almost sympathize with you and understand you being mad. For the past decade to 15 years, you guys were considered the outlet to read. The outlet to listen to the news for. And now with YouTube and several other outlets, that's slowly slipping away. So I can understand you wanting to be mad. I completely understand. The part that I don't understand and I cannot support is you taking that frustration and trying to smear someone's name just because you're butthurt. Instead, what you could have done and should have done is take that frustration and use it as drive to make your news outlet and the stories you cover better. That's what you should have done, and you probably would have been in a lot less worse position than you are now if that's what you fucking did. With the Times, Wall Street Journal, and several others, you're going to have to realize that you have to adjust with the times. I'm not saying you have to abandon what you believe in, but you have to start covering the media in a different way, or else you're going to be left in the dust. And like I said, these smear campaigns to try and get back at the people who are supposedly taking your viewers away from you is not fucking helping you. Especially when you twist and take out of context so much what PewDiePie and others have said in their videos to try and fit your narrative that everyone at this point is seeing through your shit. And only a select few are even believing what you say at this point, like that teacher. Congratulations, you have about 1,000 people that still believe your BS at this point out of hundreds of millions of others. But even those hundreds of million others, Wall Street Journal and several others, are going to start to diminish more and more and more if you don't stop what you're doing and try to focus all that energy towards just making the way you cover media and the way you do things better. Because the way you're doing things is not helping you. It's literally promoting PewDiePie at this point. Several news outlets that have covered this, that have been covering this going on, have worded it and described it a lot better than I have. But literally because of how you're portraying PewDiePie and people knowing how bad you're taking things out of context at this point. People who didn't even like PewDiePie before, people who didn't even somehow still know who PewDiePie was, are now checking him out because of what you're doing. Because they're seeing that what you're saying is biased, is untrue. So they're going to check out who's this guy that is getting under your skin so much. You're literally sending them to him at this point. And then the thing, and to voice my opinion on something that I previously mentioned during this whole entire rant, that gets under my skin most out of all this, more than taking things out of context. Well, probably not more than, but gets on my nerves a little more than taking the things out of context that you guys have been doing. And, what's the word I'm looking for? And just generally trying to hurt PewDiePie with. The thing that gets on my nerves the most that you guys are trying to do is literally hurting him, is trying to find any way possible to hurt him financially. That, to me, my personal opinion, is one of the lowest things you can do, and that is what you're doing. Wall Street Journal, you did it when you went to YouTube and you went to Maker Studios and got PewDiePie off of Google Preferred, got PewDiePie off of disassociated with Maker Studios, literally costing him millions of dollars. These guys did it then. And other news articles have even been doing that recently. Kappa Kaiju covered this beautifully a while ago. I'll leave a link for the video I'm talking about below. But pretty much, for those things I remember, there was a video a while back that PewDiePie was making jokes about it being sponsored. It was like a meme review or something. But he made a joke about it being sponsored, about the video being sponsored by Volvo. So that's what he titled the video, because he's making a joke about it being sponsored by Volvo. So that's what he titled the video. He said, this video was called Sponsored by Volvo. And I'm not sure if it was a Vox media outlet or Wall Street Journal, I can't remember at this point. But it was one of them. And they decided to cover the story, but cover it in their own way and twist it around to where like, take things out of context to where they were saying that, PewDiePie is lying to his fans. He's lying when he says that he is sponsored by certain brands, and he's really not. He's lying to his fans. He's lying to sponsorships. He's lying. And in this article, they pretty much, like normals, tried to smear PewDiePie with this idea by any means necessary. like I said, saying in the article that he was lying to his fans about his sponsorship, and he was lying to his other sponsors by saying he was sponsored by Volvo when he actually wasn't, and so on and so forth. And they even took it a step further, and this is why I'm bringing about this video. They took it even a step further, and they got in contact with LG. For those of you that don't know, LG is a electronic company that is widely known for making HD TVs. And a few videos before that, or a few videos after that, because the Volvo video is kind of an old video. A few videos ago, well, more than a few videos by now, but a couple months ago, PewDiePie did a video that I think was like a meme review, or it might have been of him actually playing a game. But the video was legitimately sponsored by LG, where he did this little presentation of one of their newest TVs at the beginning of the video before he got into actually what the video was about. So, Wall Street Journal or Vox, whichever media outlet company at the time was covering this, they decided to go to one of the latest companies out there that decided to sponsor PewDiePie, and they went to LG, and they went to the the higher ups of LG, and they said, "Did you guys hear about this latest controversy that PewDiePie is under?" Keep in mind, literally the controversy that they were about to put out. This wasn't a controversy that was already out there in the world. This is literally a controversy that they were about to publish themselves, and they brought up this controversy to LG, and they literally and it's despicable. It really is. But literally what they did is they backed LG into a corner, and pretty much verbatim, they worded it differently, obviously, but they pretty much said that if LG continues to sponsor PewDiePie, that then LG will get their name dragged down with this article that they are going to come out with. So, unfortunately, because even though I'm pretty sure LG knew PewDiePie wasn't a bad person, but because LG did not want their name dragged down in the muck, they told, the news article, whatever it was, whether it was Wall Street Journal or one of the Vox media outlets, they told them that they said, fine, we are disassociating ourselves with PewDiePie. So literally, to try and hurt Pews as much as possible, like the Wall Street Journal has done before, this media outlet decided to go to one of PewDiePie's sponsors and literally back them into a corner till they said that they were not going to sponsor PewDiePie anymore. Literally hurting PewDiePie's income. Now, to me, and I've even said, I believe even Kappa Kaiju said this when he was talking about this. I know I'm butchering the hell out of this. Like I said, Kappa Kaiju covered this way better than I did. So I'll leave a link for that video as well down below so you can check that out, because he covers it way better than I do. But we pretty much are saying the same thing and agree to this point. When they go and they try and smear his name with, taking things out of context and twisting things around, that's one thing. But when they take it a step further, not only do that, but hurt PewDiePie's income, the money he makes, is another thing altogether. Because that's the way he supports himself. That's the way he supports Marcia and, his and everything he does. And not only, in my opinion, and in several others, is that like one of the lowest fucking things you can do when you stoop so low to, on purpose, hurt someone's bottom line. But to make sure that bottom line gets hurt as much as possible is not only a dick move to do, but in my opinion is downright despicable. And for the Wall Street Journal and for others to sink to that level when trying to go against PewDiePie it's just fucking something altogether. Like I said, Philip DeFranco and Kappa Kaiju covered these subjects, some of the stuff I mentioned, way better than I do. So, the specific instances I gave that they covered I will leave a link to their videos down below, so check them out, because they word it and they phrase it a lot better than I am right now. But my whole reason, one of the reasons I wanted to re-upload this Rant Show was because, one, I wanted to talk more about my frustrations with the comment section with me last Detroit Become Human Let's Play series. And another reason is because of all this stuff that has come out recently, once again, with PewDiePie and the Wall Street Journals and Vox and others trying to smear him. And just to voice my general frustration that this shit is still going on, and that there's still some people out there that are listening to these people when they say this shit, that they're not taking into account, or they're not even reading the articles that the Wall Street Journal and others are putting out, that they're literally just reading the titles and going, okay, that's true, yep, PewDiePie's a racist. They're not, doing their own research. They're not even reading the fucking articles. They're just taking, Wall Street Journals and others' titles at face value and just follow it blindly. And I know, Philly D said this at one point during one of the videos I watched of him talking about this, and I'll agree with him on this, and I'll even say it. Do I think everyone in the Wall Street Journal, do I think everyone at Vox, do I think everyone in all these media outlets think like this? Like, do I think that all of them in general have a hatred for PewDiePie, have a hatred for the platform? No. But unfortunately, in these media outlets, the ones that do have a higher voice, they are at a higher position, so what they say goes. And unfortunately, it's a sad truth. So am I saying that every fucking person in Wall Street Journal, every fucking person in Vox thinks like this? No. But unfortunately, I think that enough people think like this in these news outlets, and these people that do think like this are higher enough on the food chain that what they says goes. That's why these articles continue to get put out, regardless if they're true or not. So I just want to say that as well. But that's the other thing I want to talk about besides the whole mini life thing. It's just the voice, my general frustration of these shit. That's what they are. They're these shit articles coming against PewDiePie. Because that's what they are. They're nothing but pure and utter dog shite. And mark my words, Wall Street. Mark my words, Vox. If you continue to do this, continue to twist the truth, twist what is actually being shown to your own agenda, to your own way of thinking, you're eventually going to drive every single person that used to support you away. Because it's already happening. Just look at your comments on Twitter after you post up these articles. If it's not evident to you after seeing those, then you're fucking blind. And newsflash, no one, or next to no one, like I said, you have a few thousand people that still follow you and believe every word you say. But that's dwindling, and it will continue to dwindle if you continue to make shit like this. Plain and simple. But guys, that's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to say a little bit more about what I think about some of the comments that people have left on Minilad's video playthrough of Detroit Become Human. I just want to say more general about that. But I also wanted to voice my frustration and my thoughts about the Wall Street Journal and other media outlets trying to smear PewDiePie again. PewDiePie, if you see this, keep doing what you're doing, man. You must... God, at this point, you probably, with how much the media has attacked you over the years, you have the patience of a fucking saint at this point. Because, to be honest, dude, if I was you, I probably would have lost it by now. No, fuck that, I would have beyond lost it at this point. And some of these articles, like I'm sure you have your reasons to, but some of the articles that have come out against you at this point have been straight up slander. Why you haven't sued some of them over this is beyond me. Like I said, I'm sure you have your reasons. And, you know, whatever the reason is, you know, you're gonna do you. And unfortunately, they're gonna do them. And like I said, dude, you have to have the patience of a freaking saint at this point with half the shit that's been put out against you. But Pewds, like I'm sure you're already aware of, if not evident by your continued subscriber, you know, count continuing to skyrocket at this point. You have thousands of loyal fans behind you, thousands of creators behind you, and we got your back. I just wanted to finish off this video by saying that. But guys, we're gonna leave it off there. I'm already losing my voice. I've been recording for over an hour. Good Lord, I think this is probably the longest Rant Show I've ever done. But with that being said, guys, I do want to leave it off with one more thing. I'm sure most of you are aware, it is December. It is the Christmas season. And since it's going up on Saturday, literally, Christmas is only, what? 3-4 days away? So if you guys could do me a favor, for anything that's going out for the holiday season, please stay safe. If you know you're gonna party hardy, please drink responsibly. And just have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. And I'll see you guys in 2019. Merry Christmas, guys. Have a Happy New Year, and I'll see you later. Peace.